Today is the fourth day of the class. So after end of today, we're going through third of the way. So try to learn, try to apply. You're not practicing now, you are doing it. I lost the voice of the master. Okay. I don't have the voice of the master. Okay, now we have. So today we are in the fourth day of the class. For the past few days, as I had mentioned to you, you try to do it to prepare. This time we are preparing. As the more we can do it, the better. This speaker, there is some problem with this speaker. Check the wire, see if it is loose or something. Because this machine needs some human touch. They need your touch. So now for the past few days, hopefully, as I mentioned to you, we will have many chances to contribute, not just for the people or the country, but for the whole world. I also hope that in the near future, if everything around the world is stabilized, it doesn't mean that when I mention this to introduce the antenna model, but during the final stage, you and me, we are very fortunate that we are learning such a profound lesson that from the past until now on Earth, there are so many human races, including the first human race on Earth. They have never learned this. This is for the first time that we are learning this. Why? Because the deities want to erase all of the races from the first to the fourth human races. So these souls will return to the deities. Those with names and titles that the humankind at the moment time, the archaeologists mention, they talk about the first, second, third, fourth human races. All of those people now, they combine their effort to help the fifth human race, that is you and me. For the first group, that is 1,541 of us, and eventually it will multiply to have more people on Earth, to have the ability to contribute, to help this fifth human race to evolve. And this being, they will complete the mission and leave it to us, so we can carry on from now to the future. These beings, they return back to the deities. As in the past they have names, and now they return back to God as a no-name being. Listen carefully. For that reason, we are very fortunate. Then, with money, with fame, and future, you cannot buy this. But it requires your effort, your time to come here to learn, so that you can receive in order to help the mankind in a new era, the new humans. Eventually, all of these new changes, you will see many strange things. And your family members will see that you are changed. Like in the past, you are so difficult, now you are easy. Or you are easy, sometimes they are afraid of you. In the past, you are so easy, tolerant, now you are so difficult. And eventually, these people are afraid of you because of the changes. That is a transition to prepare for the fifth human race, those with with wisdom and enlightenment. As I shared with you, in fact, 2 months ago, before as I learned the lesson to prepare for the level 20 to teach you, I never thought about the concept of the first to the fourth human race, that their soul will merge with us. So they borrow our body in order to carry out everything that they had not complete. Because these beings are just like us at the human, at this time as we are the humans. They were also the humans. But there is one point that is very important, that the deity did not allow them to have. They had the problem with selfishness, but power. So the problem with selfishness and power, that caused chaos In any situation, if we think about power, then we cause chaos. It is not just causing chaos to us, but it causes chaos to all of the people and the nearest to us. They will have more problem. So we try to avoid from making this problem, meaning no power struggle. Even though we say we don't have power, but we have the capacity. Our ability is higher than all the powers. Why? When we have this highest ability as this being who come to us to help us so that we can help the human with wisdom and enlightenment. So whoever still think of having power, then they will resign. If some of those who are powerful and they try to use their power to develop on a spiritual path, then they can keep it forever. It doesn't mean that the kings, the queens, the powerful people, they are all resigned. No, they will live eternally for a long time so that they can contribute to help mankind. Eventually, as I mentioned to you, there will be many people in the human world when they come to Australia following their group to come here to learn for 30 days or maybe 45 days. So as they never know about UE, they learn from the lowest to the highest level, so that in the highest level, they are able to carry out, to contribute, to protect their country, to help their people, and to help the whole world. That I have seen that this event will come. So in the future, the teaching of UE, as I have mentioned to you, it is difficult to teach a higher seminar to be able to teach all over the world. Just like now from Australia, I can broadcast to Holland and to Thailand. Eventually, with the condition, as many of these people, they organize all over the world, they just come and learn, when they come to Melbourne and learn in person with me or through television all over the world, so that they can learn themselves or their country can learn. So in order to apply, that would be in the future. Only in a few more years in the future. It doesn't mean that the future, that 14 years ago I had, 16 years ago I had mentioned to you already, nobody believed me. But then 10 years later, when I was teaching on television, that was after 10 years when I announced, it was in 1990 in America. I had announced at the time when I was only teaching level 4. But when I was able to teach to up to level 7 special, it was 9 years later, I was able to teach for the first time directly when I want to have the high volume, it's low. When I want to have a low volume, it is high. When I want to have high volume, it is low. When I want low volume, it is high. I still remember in 1990, in April 1990, for the first time, when I taught the level 3 to open chakra 100%, only 25 of you. I taught the level 2 with more students, but the first group, I selected only the first 25 students. I taught them the level 3 and I taught them for 9 days, not like in 2 hours. And from then on, I mentioned that in the future I will be teaching on television 9 years later. And it was also in April 1999 for the first time as THglauC. He did not know and I did not know much about setting up with a satellite. There's a satellite system from America to Holland. And we lost 1 day because I was teaching from night to the morning. It was, the cost was $300,000 US. THglauC organized that class. He could not even make any profit. If we know about this system, then it would not be so costly. If we know how to use the info view, at that time we did not know much about these technical issues. That was in 1999, about 8 years ago. 5 or 7 days seminar, and it costed like $300,000 US. All of the fees we have to pay, and they also cheat us one day. One day we are only teaching by telephone because there is no video. Because all the system in America, it was blocked. There's no video connection. We lost 1 day, but they still we still have to pay for it. So supposedly we just use the phone alone, perhaps only a few hundred. But They billed us $50,000 because, in fact, at that time we did not know. So they cheated us. That is how I share with you. For that reason, I want to train you. In the future, you have a chance to have a meeting with the scientists around the world, so you can combine your effort to help not just any country. All of you in a large UE family, you will have a chance to meet many of the scientists in the future, in the year 2008, 2009. With everything that I mentioned to you, it will happen after you complete this level 20. There's so much work ahead of you, because it marks the new era, the new human, the new world. All of these new changes, that is from the soul of the first group of the human race that are helping to rebuild the world. Eventually, after, when we have the fifth human race with the wisdom enlightenment, all of the others, the ancestors, they return back to the deities to be the new names. And eventually, we do not refer to the first, to the fourth human race. We will refer to them as the deities. There is no name. Just like the notion of God, we keep on thinking of God as a man, well, not a woman. I'm a man. I'm only taking side of the woman, and many of the women, they do not like me. So I tell you the truth. Supposedly, I take side of the woman that they like me, but many of them, they do not like me. If they do not like me, and that's how it is. Teresa said they don't like me, and that's what happened. I'm just joking with you. I want to share with you in a new way, as we are very fortunate, we are able to learn to apply. Just like I mentioned to you for the past few days, with the remaining subject in the next few days, you try your best. With everything that you already know, then that's okay. But if it is not clear, then you can ask, so I can clarify for you, so you can go home, you can apply. It will be beneficial for you, and there are a lot of work ahead of you in many aspects. In every situation. It's not only in the case of healing and the water alone. There are many others that in this class, I hope you will be able to receive everything. And for the past few days, as you are able to apply in order to bring the benefits for you now as well as in the future, that is my presentation for you before I let you continue. Perhaps tomorrow. Today I try to change the the technique for the level 20. Perhaps tonight, after I correct it, so tonight in Holland and Thailand, you can have it. So the Vietnamese over here, perhaps we have the English in Vietnamese, only 2 pages. So tonight we'll send it. So in Thailand and Europe, you will receive it. So tomorrow you have the documents over here similarly. Today I'll make some corrections, and they will print it out. So tomorrow you will have this formula. So before the end of the class, you have the formula. I'll guide you so you understand the technique. 4 pages. So I explained to you already with the remaining time yesterday. Now it's time for Australia. Yesterday Thailand has finished, so now it is Australia. You can ask questions, so I can answer for you. So now it is our turn here in Australia. Thank you, Master. I would like to send my greeting to all. I have several questions I would like to ask. First, regarding, as I read through the Buddhist scriptures, Buddha has said, in this world, there are 7 lives of Buddhas in the past, and each lifetime, the duration was 3 billion years. And they control 3 billion worlds of the Buddhist world. And Buddha Sakya is the one from the 7th life. Is it a coincidence between the teaching of Buddha as well, a coincidence with your teaching for the past few days? That is the first part of the question. Second, Once when I came to Vietnam, I talked to one of the monk, and I also mentioned about the teaching of Lảo UY. That monk said that Lảo UY is real, but the Lảo UY application, that is from a mental aspect. So can you explain to me the difference between the way that I mentioned that it is from a mental aspect as well as truth? So about the relationship between that and Lảo UY. Third question relating to the aura. Could it be that a normal person without learning Lảo UY, without any spiritual knowledge, can that person have the aura? If it is, then what is the difference between the aura between a normal person, the aura of a religious person, and the aura of an Lảo UY person? What is the difference between these type of auras? And fourth, I want to ask you, can we choose the new soul to merge with us, or do they choose us? Because I have learned for many years, but I'm still in the darkness. I do not know this new soul. Can we choose them? We can find a higher soul to come to us, so it is better for me. Now let me explain further for you, so you listen carefully. These Buddhist monks, they restricted their knowledge only in Buddhism. As you can see, Buddha was in the 5th human race, and he was around only in the recent 25 centuries. And Buddha, from my understanding, as I went to Sri Lanka, many of these monks who research about Buddha, after the death of Buddha, 500 years later, 5 centuries later, then they would write the scriptures, meaning that they listen from the disciple. But in fact, Buddha, he said that he didn't teach anything, so that's why there are contradiction. Buddha said he didn't teach anything, but now you keep on saying this is what Buddha taught, and they don't even listen to Buddha. So that is how strange they are. I have all the experience I gone through. They say that Buddha say this, and then they say that they don't listen. Buddha tell you that to go to the forest to find the truth, and you say that you are afraid of the mosquitoes. No monks dare to go to the forest like Buddha in the past. I tell you the truth. At any time, after 25 centuries until now, after the death of Buddha, no monks dare to go to the jungle. But when they go to the jungle, they have to use the tent. In Thailand, one of the Buddhist monks, only that monk that I really love. Perhaps he was here in this, is in here in the level 20. According to the tradition, the Orthodox Buddhism, from the time they have a time from 11 to 12 at noon they can eat. So for him during that time it's a seminar, so he doesn't eat, so he have to he just drink. So he missed a meal for 7 days. That only one monk, and that one monk he stay in the jungle. He has a cave, and he also have a toilet. It's not like in the past that Buddha was in a jungle. So you are confused about this. Buddha is a prince. There are 3,000 people who come to serve him when he went to the jungle. Nobody wrote about this. If they wrote about this, he was in the jungle to become enlightened, but nobody listened to him. But in fact, at the time when he go to the jungle, there are 3,000 servants to help him when he go on the path. I don't see any of this mentioned in the scriptures. I tell you the truth. This is I know for real. I received the message. Buddha Sakya tell me, so I show to the disciple. There's no book that mentioned about this. How can you? He died, and 500 years later, they wrote based on the disciples. and the disciple also died already. So you can see the scripture in Sri Lanka, that is from the Orthodox Buddhism. The one who wrote this scripture, it is also a minister of Buddhist teaching, and that person I often met that person in Sri Lanka, and once in a while that person comes to Australia to see me. So about the Buddhist teaching, in the way of preaching Buddhism, it is very limited, especially in Southeast Asia, in particular in Vietnam. In fact, it is so limited in their knowledge. They could not properly research about the Buddhist teaching. He only teach one thing. And then they write 2 to 3 million books. He said, do not do anything on the spiritual path. Do not torture your body, because he tried to do it and it is blocked. So that's why the Orthodox Buddhism in Thailand, they do not have the strict diet. And he also said that follow the path doesn't mean that you torture the body, meaning that you just help the body in order to evolve, in order to return to the light. But many of them, they torture their body. For the Vietnamese, after the war, many of these monks, they are very fat. Only if you try to torture your body and fasting and you are so thin, how can you? I have one of the students, when I see that one of the monks, he was so weak with his weak health. So instead of going to Australia, and so he had to go to Thailand to learn because of his weak health. So I tell you, you need to be practical. It is not like you are superstitious or just make up stories. The most important part that in the human world I see from the past until now, nobody listened to Buddha. Buddha said, you don't listen. My God, if you listen to him, how can you follow the path? If you listen to him, you would die. You know that he's a prince to follow the path, 3,000 servants. Do not think that he would drink ginseng, not like the Korean ginseng. He was drinking ginseng to sit in the jungle. I had mentioned this in the past already. On this, I want to share with you the material and the mental. How do they know the 7th or the 8th? I ask you. He said about the 7th and the 8th. Who created Buddha? And then now many of the Chinese, they make up many of the story. He said that the first Dharma and the 6th Dharma, they said you don't do this, and then the follower, they said that the Dharma who mentioned past, one tell you to do the ritual, the other tell you not to do it. So who do you believe? If you believe in the former one, he died already, and if you listen to the new one, they said that do not bring offering. And one that said you bring the offering, it is to the ghost or to the evil. You don't see any ghosts or evil that come to take the offering. But in fact, many of the people, the humans, that's what I did when I was young. At the time when I was young, I'm afraid of many of these people. All of the offering, when after they do all the rituals, they have all the food on their all the children with 100 of them. And the other one, they come to take the offering. They only just take a piece of bread, and the whole and everything is just broken. So they got hurt because of the all offering, and they give it to the children, and they fight each other to get it. So this is only just an experience. So for us to learn in the 5th human race. So after the death of Buddha, they make up so many stories. Buddha wasn't like that. Buddha determined to help to follow the path. He didn't tell you to have to go to vegetarian diet or not to get married. And they mentioned that Buddha, he ate the pigs. So we make up all these stories. They make up so many stories about it. You have to understand, in our country, you know why? Because in Thailand they are so rich, they don't have to follow a strict diet. There are many, like in Vietnam, we are very poor. So Sometimes they just eat vegetable and salt. Masara is, I'm not in the past. My family was poor, so I just eat vegetable only with soy sauce. That means that, and I also lie to people. I said, how come? I see that each day you buy the soy sauce. I just tell them that I buy it to cook the fish, but we don't have even have fish. I always eat cabbage. In the south, they don't even eat the vegetable. In the south, they are afraid of the vegetable, and when the north they come in, they eat the vegetable. In the past, for the southerner, they do not eat this vegetable, and from the south, they just have a farm with all this vegetable and sell this vegetable in the southern Vietnam. They are poor, and then because they do not know how to eat vegetable. But when they just have a little vegetable and then cook in a soup, and then that will taste good. And that's how I follow the vegetarian diet. I am very poor, so I have to say that I'm following the vegetarian diet. They say, how come you eat the same thing? But I said that I'm following the vegetarian, that I'm fasting. But in fact, I do not have money to buy meat or fish. When I was working, I was very poor. So supposedly I buy the sandwiches. Since I don't have money, I said that give me some soy sauce, because then they asked, I don't have money for $2 for a piece of bread, but I don't have I only have 50 cents to buy, so I couldn't even buy a piece of bread. So I just asked for soy sauce. And when they ask why, I say that I'm fasting. So that is just an excuse. In my country, we are poor. So when these monks go to Thailand, some of these monks, they are my family members. They go to 10 years to study. And he said that I'm fasting, but when I go over there, I'm so used to eating. But when I'm going back, I have to tell the student, in the morning I fast. You bring me the meat for me in the morning. I myself, I bring the meat for this monk. At that time, because of my young age, I'm afraid that my family members shave his head, and with his disciple brought the food in for him, because as I brought the meat into for him, because I was so used to eat all of the meat, and when he going home, and said that he couldn't follow the vegetarian diet. At the time, that is my family members, I just say that you bring it the food. So that is the truth. This monk, they are eating meat. Nobody would know the secret. Sometimes they do not have the freedom. They have to hide when they follow the spiritual path. So that is why they are suffering. Because if they eat the meat, then these people do not believe him. So that is the culture in Vietnam. That's so strange. They only follow those who have the vegetarian diet. So that's why they have to hide to eat meat. But when they go to Thailand to learn, in Thailand, if you eat vegetarian, then you have to go back to Vietnam. So they have to eat meat, because they said that they don't like meat. But in fact, they all eat meat because fish and when they give you the meat and then as offering. So that is how I share with you. In a teaching of EV, nobody would know. I tell you the truth. It doesn't mean that I'm advertising. If it is, then I'm copying from others, because this is origin products. It's never been open, so only now it is open. If they thought that then now I'm teaching the same, that will be the same. Like in the past, around the world, all of these archaeologists, you see many books. They write about many things. They imagine things, or they may receive messages, but how many people can do it? No one. The powerful country in the world, they research in science, they research on spirituality, but they cannot do it. So the question yesterday from Margaret in England, now the research with the using wire, they are still able to generate electricity. I know perhaps my student listened to me to make the antenna, and it is my student who gives them the opinion to prepare the mind for these people when we have the large antenna to generate electricity. Everything will be stabilized. Now, for the Buddhism, is there any monk that he said that he can open to spin the chakra? I tell you the truth. This Egyptian master 50,000 years ago, to open a chakra, it may take them 3 lifetimes or 3 or 4 lifetimes to be able to open chakra 100% completely. You said that you can meditate to open chakra. I myself, Master Dang here, to open chakra to one of the highest monk with the 2 million people who knows him. He said in front of me, I open chakra by hand. That his head, it is very precious. The moment I try to touch his head, his guard would not let me because he's the highest monk. I said that if I don't open the chakra, then it will be useless. So they translated to him, and he said everybody, the guard, to leave him alone. So I placed my hand on this monk. The photographs, if it is so, it will be like $100 million, because nobody would come there to take a photograph on the day when I open chakra with a lot of people in front of him. I placed my hand to open chakra. Nobody there to place the hand on that monk, only Master Dang. That is by faith. So for that reason, I helped that monk to live for 10 years and to continue to preach Buddhism to help people. I don't want to say anyone, but I know for sure some of my students who knows. And they have reached to the level that of international knowledge. And we just go to the mountain. My God, in the morning you eat vegetarian, and at night you eat meat. Nobody would know, because I gone through. So I have seen all. I tell you the truth. So perhaps this man he went to see a fake monk. So on that, to this question, I want to share with you. You have to understand, for the people in the 20th century to follow the spiritual path because of the low levels. In many countries in the world, they have researched everything, but for religion, it's not like this. You know why? Because of fear. You are afraid of losing the student. You are afraid. If you believe in Buddha, you just follow Buddha. You do not be afraid of the human who criticize you. Whatever they say, it's their own business. You follow the path to save, to help people, to follow the path to help people. And whatever they say, do not listen to many criticism. If they say good or say bad, you die. If just listen to them, criticism, you die. So through the presentation of this man, I want to share with you in the teaching of EV from the past until now. Is there anyone who teach you like Master Dang? If not, this is new, and this is new, so nobody knows. So you calculate until now we have only 25 centuries. There are millions of centuries in the past that they could not even do it. Now only 25 centuries. How can he do it? However, if you learn, you have a brilliant mind with all the means that you are able to receive. That's how you are learning from the fake to find the truth. Through this fake means, you thank them because you are able to help you to find the truth. All of the means in the human world, they're all fake. But then through the fake means, you have the way to find the truth in order to save, to help mankind. Now we are not the religious people, but 34 years ago when I followed the path, the deities revealed to me in the future, the people who's not on the path, they are on a spiritual path. Because my concept, the concept of the humans, we think that follow the path, meaning you wear the black robe to the church or a yellow robe in a temple. But now we are wearing not more clothing, but we are following the path as we sacrifice ourselves to serve people, to follow the teaching of Jesus Christ and Buddha. These two religions that are well known all over the world is teaching to sacrifice, to help others, to act, to help others. Then we have everything. To act, to help others, meaning you are helping their soul to evolve. Then you have the blessing. It doesn't mean that you have 100 and you give to them 50, then you have blessing. In that way, the wealthy people will be blessed, and the poor would not be able to. Or you think the deities will take bribe from the rich. I teach you this point very clearly. Therefore, through the presentation, all of you, you need to remember, I teach you regardless of any means, high, low, good or bad, you learn, because these are the means to help you to evolve on the spiritual path, so you can find the truth, so you can find the ability in order to help mankind. So that today or the past few days, you are very fortunate, as you learn in this class, that the deities have chosen your body. The deities meaning God has chosen your body, so you can serve. If the fifth human race, we don't have any ability. I learned through, I know. Only the first to the fourth human races, they have the ability to help the fifth human race to have wisdom enlightenment, because they already have wisdom enlightenment, but they have one mistake, that they have selfishness and power. That is how I share with you. So the second question, as this student, you do not have the right to choose. They choose you. And they will look at you and they choose. Sometimes the man would merge to the woman, and the merge with the man. This is the soul. Do not think that suddenly you change your sex to be a woman, or the woman change to be a man. I'm afraid of this. That is very practical. Now, my God, suddenly the woman and a man merge to you, and you become the man. I'm a man. I do not want to be a woman. And Teresa, a lady like this, if a man come here and she said, a man, how do I answer to her? At the time, she was wearing like this, just wear a short and t-shirt. That I'll die, and you will all die too. So through this the question, this is a way to meet the demand, to help you to learn. Now I tell you the truth. 25 centuries ago, how do they have the camera to take a photograph with aura of Buddha, Mary, Virgin? This all, or the Virgin Mary. This they don't have the camera. This is only drawing. My God. I researched only, they have only the camera only recently, in a few decades, so that's how, whatever they want to draw. When you talk about the aura, I tell you, if you go to Japan, if you have a very high statue of Buddha, they would not agree. If you go to Tokyo, you see many of the statues, they are short, so the Japanese are short, so they have the statue of Buddha Sakya is short. And later on, in the past, they are very short. So when they make the statue of Buddha, but that century, they make him very short. But the statue in Thailand is a little higher. In Vietnam, perhaps the statue in Vietnam, I tell you, if they want to lose weight, but many of the Buddhas in Vietnam, they are always overweight. But the Buddha is not that fat. The Buddha in India, he looked handsome just like me. But now you tell him that you make him very fat. I tell you, I see. That's why I have pity for my people in Vietnam. When I was still in Vietnam, I went to one of the vegetarian restaurants because I like to have follow the vegetarian. When they go into the door on the right. If you are in Saigon and you see that restaurant, perhaps that restaurant is still there. They draw a picture writing Buddha, the chairman, and with a very fat Buddha sitting there with a very big stomach, and he sit there, he laughing. And I go in there and see the Buddha, and if he sit there with his fat stomach. And this is supposed to be a vegetarian restaurant. They have a big picture of Buddha. I said that Buddha, the chairman of Long Hoa meeting. So they give him a title, Buddha as a chairman of. So I can see it is so. In our country, we do it wrongly. I do not want to change it. If I stay in the country, I say that they put me in jail. So in the class, I can say freely for you, so you can understand. I have a pity for my people. They believe, but blindly. I cannot imagine. So that's why they forget the main issue when they follow Buddhism. Supposedly that Buddha, even if he come back, if his fat like this, you tell them to be just like him, then now all the road will be, because for him, if he's fat like that, then one person needs the 2 chairs because they have a big, with the stomach very, he doesn't have a big stomach like that. You think perhaps in his stomach has all the parasite in there. My God, my people, I have a pity for them. So as you say it, I share with you. I don't want to criticize it, but in fact, that's how it is. If you follow the path, you need to have wisdom and enlightenment. You need to have a way, and the way that when you see it, so to encouraging them to follow the path. If you see, and like in Vietnam, it is also the fault of the Vietnamese in the past in Vietnam. We think that the people who are fat are the rich, wealthy, and now it is a change. Whoever the rich and wealthy people, they follow diet, they look better, and now they have money. They do not want to eat too much. Like in Australia right here, they have a lot of money from the morning to late at night, and I just go home, buy the house of $2-3 million. I just sit to sleep at night. All day they go working from the early morning and at late at night go back home to sleep. And Saturday, Sunday they are working overtime to be able to pay the bill of the house. And in the middle of the way, and you die, and then they sell the house. So that is the fact. The human life, we have to understand for the humans, depending on each situation, each circumstance, that you can contribute to help. However, I always remind all of you in UV all over the world, you need to remember, do not criticize any means, because any means, as the deities teach us, we have to kneel down and show our gratitude to the deities, whether the means are right or wrong, white or black. These are all the means for us to learn to progress. Do not think that it's good or this one is bad. You have to learn good and bad, so that you learn the good to help those to be better, to learn the bad, to turn them from bad to be a good person. That is a principle in UE that I wish for you. Do not think that after you learn the level 20, the first to the fourth human race that merge with you and you have the power. They do not like that. They will block your mouth. So I advise for you, they merge to your body to help you with wisdom and enlightenment, to help you so you can live long in order to serve mankind. That will include your country, your family. That is a principle I want to remind you. It doesn't mean that I tell you that after the level 20, this being merged with you, and then you can go and boast and power struggle, then that will be a loss for you. I also remind to all of you, after through 19 levels, after 18 years of my teaching, I know more or less most of the centers around the world. Nobody would agree to anyone. That is a lesson in level 20 I want to teach you. Never make that mistake again, because now you cannot do it. That is a struggle, power struggle, because of selfishness. I know, but I'm very calm. It doesn't mean that I do not know. Whether you do right or wrong, I know. Doesn't mean I don't know. You want more or less, I also know. Even though I'm far away from you, you want one, I give you three. All the centers in UE, all over the world, you want one, I give you three. To guide you so you can come to the level 20, so that we are able to stabilize everything in order to prepare for the new people with wisdom. And the people with wisdom, meaning we have the same common ground, just like the fifth human race, so we can help the fifth human race to have wisdom and enlightenment. So the being from the first to the fourth human race, they can return back to deities, and they will never be referred to the first and to the fourth human race anymore. And we, the fifth human race, will become the first, and all of them, they will return back to the deities. And I hope that this fifth human race, right now with 6 billion, in the future there will be more billions in the population. In the future, all the new and old people, they follow the path to help to evolve, to have wisdom and enlightenment. I also know the first and the second human race, their body are not just like us. and their lifestyle is not like us. That is a change in the environment. That we live with a long lifestyle, long lifespan, and they, in their appearance and the size and shape, they are much bigger, larger. So now, going through the evolution in the fifth human race, this shape it is smaller to be appropriate to the environment. Through the trial of God, from the first to the fourth human race, all of those beings, they already have wisdom and enlightenment. We do not have the wisdom and enlightenment. For that reason, those who have the wisdom and enlightenment, they help us. But they would teach our bodies, and they unintentionally, they did not follow correctly, meaning they have selfishness and they have power. With power, they have the power struggle, and that would cause suffering. So we do not need power, but we have the ability to help our family, country, the communities in the world. Then we don't have any more struggles. Eventually, there is not just in one continent to have wisdom of the fifth human race, but in all 5 continents. Everywhere we have the people with wisdom and enlightenment. Then we do not have the power struggle. In the past, there was only one group. That's why they have the struggle and a problem. Perhaps it may cause a problem to the whole region, the whole continent. For that reason, I did not calculate first. But after 18 years of my teaching in all 5 continents, we have the UE family in all 5 continents. And in the UE level 20, the highest, we have the students from all 5 continents who come here to Australia to learn, or you come to Holland or Thailand to take a class. So people from all 5 continents are in the level 20. That is one good sign for you, that you have the chance to contribute to help your continent, your country, your family. You are very fortunate on this. Eventually, the struggle that in the past that caused hatred, sadness, discourage, starting from the 29th in the future, it will erase for you. That page of history will be closed, and it will be forever lost, and you cannot even recall it anymore. That is how I want to help you with the healthy body in order to prepare to have the new soul, that the human can really love the human. 1 multiplied to 1, 1 plus 1. In that way, we have everything. I hope with these few points that will come to you during the time when you are in the class, and afterwards, you have made an opportunity to contribute in the year 2008. Listen carefully. You have more opportunity. It doesn't mean that you have to wait until the year 2008. I tell you already, listen carefully. This week you do 1, but next week you do 10, 100 or 1,000 times more. Listen carefully. So this question from Mr. Long, which soul that we can choose. They would choose you. They know the ability of your body. They would choose your body in order to carry out according to their will. You don't have to worry about this. And all of the struggle, all of the grudges, they would clear for you. So, like in your brain, it will be pure. So you have a chance to contribute, to help in a new program. That means the new humans. That all of us, we volunteer to go first in order to help the next generation. That means the children and grandchildren in the future. Next question.
Much. Dear Master, dear Teresa, I want to begin to give our gratitude. Your students, my family, and me in Mexico, Master, we can feel your support in our lives every day. I want to share with you, Master, my granddaughter, 3 years old, told me, Grandma, I think I need to give you a treatment. Please sit down. Later, she put her little hands on my head and told me, shh, ready, Grandma, you are cured. This, Master, was one of the more wonderful experiences in my life, and all this is because you're teaching. I have to question, Master, first, Master, are you so kind to tell to us with your knowledge some more about the others, the different dimensions? Second, you tell to us we can merge with everything, Master. Can we merge with the stars, with the moon, with the sun, with the planets, and the rest of the universe? Thank you, Master.
Now, as you know,
Comme vous savez,
we are preparing as the fifth human race to become the first human race, so that we have wisdom, enlightenment,
You are in English.
so we don't have the selfishness and power struggle. Testing. We are preparing to receive the soul of the first to the fourth human race, so to become the first human race, so that we can have wisdom, enlightenment. And now we do not have the problem of selfishness and power. Then the humankind will have peace. That is the Long Hoa meeting and paradise on earth. For that reason, our mission is to help the souls of all the living creatures on this planet Earth right here. And other planets, we do not take care of our planet first. Through this question, in the past, I had learned, in the future, the humans on Earth, once we have real stage of wisdom and enlightenment, I thought that you and me, all of us, the humans in the 20th century, but I didn't know. When I taught you in level 20, then I would know we are helping the first human race, so that we can become just like the first human race to help this earth, so that all will have the wisdom. And all of these people, they do not have the problem of power and selfishness. So through this question, I want to share with you, we are able to help the soul of the living creatures and the humans on this planet Earth. And in this level 20, for the past few days, as well as like right now, I remind you, so you need to remember, we do not have any capacity, but all of this high soul that will come to our body, if you want to succeed in any aspect, first, do not be selfish. Second, do not want to have power. Then you will have more ability. With more power here, it's not for you to boast, but with more power here, meaning for you to carry out, to develop on a spiritual path, to help other people with wisdom and enlightenment. If you say that you don't have the power, if you don't have the power, how can you convince others? You do, but you do not want it or hang on to it. If you do not want it, and you have more spiritual power, in order to tell to these people in a material way with power, the invisible power, then you can convince those with the physical power. They will listen to you. Then the country, the people would benefit from this. Just like in a normal case, in a human society, you are just like an advisor. You think that person A is good, but that person A is not. But then he has 6 advisors. These are the top advisors, and suddenly they see that this person A is capable. That is my point. And my point, I'm telling you, you do not need power outside, but you need, but you have the power inside in order to control. That is in the human world. Now, we talk about the family, and then somebody will applaud, and suddenly I remember. Whatever you do, you can see. From the king to the queen, the one with the most power, they are afraid of the woman. And the most powerful woman, they are afraid of her children. That is very strange. You can see. And for those who do not have any power, then the women are afraid of men, because of their strong and their abuse and being violent. So the women are afraid of the men because of their power, their strength. Those who have power, they are afraid of women. Do not hang on to power. The more power you have, be behind the curtain. You change your name. Many of these women, they change their name. They're always blaming people. They keep on blaming others. If not, then how can they? Especially those who are married. For those who are single, you do not know. I'm talking about these women who are married. For those of you who are single, do not look at me. I'm talking about the other ladies. You do not have a husband, I know. So when I say that, talk about the single, I'm saying that you still live long. So perhaps in 5-10 years, some man will come to you and you find a husband. Who knows? I'm joking. Oh my God! I just tell her that she'll find a husband. Suddenly she was happy and she's smiling. I just want to share with you, in fact, that you have to prepare your mind. I just advise, and I want to guide you clearly. For us, with power, inside, meaning the spiritual, meaning the invisible, you have the power, so that you can help those who are powerful out in the physical world. Like I mentioned to you for the past few days, you may see a good leader or bad or good. You don't know whether they are good or bad. The leaders, those who are influential, you do not need to know whether they are good or bad. You just merge with them. If they are good, if they do right, then everybody can benefit. Then forever they will go higher. If they do not do right, that the deities had given to them, then they will automatically resign. You don't have to worry about this. Then you know the result of what you do. As I show you, listen carefully. After this class, as you do it, you can do it right now. You don't have to wait until after the seminar. You can do it. Whether you love or you hate your boss, you can merge. If he's good, then he still stay there. If not, then he'll be replaced and he will resign. This is something you can do. I confirm this is something you can do. If you do right, then they can continue. If they do wrong, then automatically they volunteer to stop. Starting from the first day of the class, it doesn't mean that you have to wait until the end of the seminar. You can do it. So if rather you are in the darkness, you can see very clear out in the light. Those out in the light, they cannot see that you're in the dark. That is you. Do not think that yin and yang, and you say that the light win the dark. The light, in the light, they can shoot you. You cannot shoot them. But I teach you different. Let's say that from the light, they return to the light, and the dark return to the dark. That is bad. In the dark, they can aim at you and they shoot you. You cannot see them. But in the dark, you also try to touch. In the light, you don't know where to touch. So in Vietnamese, it's very strange. They have so many words. And in the dark, you try to scare people in the dark, and you try to touch people in the dark. In Vietnamese, there are so many words. Every word, I cannot use any of the words. I don't know if we can translate this. This is only for the Vietnamese. Now, I explain for you. That is, to this question, I want to remind you. To the question for Maru in Mexico, in the case of her granddaughter, through the case of the granddaughter of Maru, I want to share with you, with your children or grandchildren, if they understand 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, because when they go to kindergarten, if they have understanding, as you are the parent, you can try to train them slowly. Who knows? For others, you help them to have wisdom enlightenment, so that we are preparing for the first to the fourth human race, so that we are able to help this human race with wisdom enlightenment, so we can take care of our children, grandchildren. It is so simple. I think that I teach. I could not teach my son, the youngest one, but I just tell him. So it's simple. Whenever I teach for the Vietnamese and other, he sit there and he listen. And when I meditate, he just sit there to meditate. So when I teach the level 18, he just sit there and he meditates. It's just like he's only 6 years old. At night, you can tell them like this. I just tell them before you go to sleep, if to be able to sleep, you just inhale to the nose and exhale to the mouth. Inhale and exhale 10 times, and you tell them you think like that. Think of the energy into you. So inhale and out, exhale. Especially for the naughty children, and you tell them to inhale and exhale 1 time. 1, inhale, 2, 3 when they are so tired, and then they go to sleep. And that is the best way for you. Suddenly they fall asleep, and they will sleep very deep, and then helping their mind in the morning. They do well in school. And let's say when they are sick, for example, the children, you also tell them, let's say they have a flu, you tell them just to sit there and close your eyes and inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale 10 times. So if they listen to you, suddenly they do that and they get well. My son, suppose I just play around with him, but then this morning I pay attention when he has a little runny nose, and I told him just to do the breathing, and he closed his eye and he sit there and he do the breathing this morning. And Teresa told me to rush. As Teresa, no matter what she said, she just sit there and close his eye. He count until he has 10 breath, then he would go. He did not pay attention. 6-year-old, even his mother tell him he did not for others to rush. He would, but he sit there, whatever his mom said. After 10 breaths, then he start to talk. So if you train your children like that in the future, they will do well because they are able to protect their health. I was thinking that this morning I just reminded him, I would just reminded him whatever he do, but he was careful. At night when he closed his eye to go to sleep, I tell him to do the breathing. He just sit there and count. Inhale 1, exhale 1, exhale 1. After 10 fingers, then he is done. After only 6 fingers, I see that he forgot to count, and I know that he was snoring. So that is a way for you to train, so they know how to receive the light of God's aura. They know how to use universal energy. That is to protect their health. Then in the future, they have many opportunity to develop further comparing to other children, and their health is stronger. The immune system is stronger. As you know, during this season in school, many of the children have flu and runny nose in the morning because this is the flu season. Supposedly he will get sick, but in the morning, for others, do not only my own children, but for you, do not do it. Do not listen to me and do it. In the morning, I give him 15 ml of the garlic. He take and then drink the milk, and then he go to school. It is better. I tell you, in that way, we're helping his immune system to fight against the virus, and with the weather and the climate, that is a way to protect his health. So without taking medication, this is a lesson. In my family, I want to share with all of you. But through the question and the reminder from Maru in Mexico, I remember, and this morning I present to you, so you have the chance, starting from now, you perhaps can help these children and train them so in the future they will have their health and they will be able to learn much better. Now, I had answered to you already. I tell you now, we just take care of the humans as we're preparing to transform from the first to the fourth human race. You do not need to go there because your body and your soul travel out already, so you don't have to merge there. Right in here we need, in our planet Earth that we need to, because of the need in this human, in this planet. That's why all of the being from all the human race to help us so that we can become just like the first human race, with wisdom and enlightenment, to help all the people to have wisdom and enlightenment. That is all of you now and the children and grandchildren in the future. So now the third person in Australia.
Dear Master, I would like to thank you that I can be here, and I also want to greet all the students in Holland, because I'm also a student from Holland. I would like to ask 2 questions. My first questions, they are both about the ego. I would like to ask how you find a balance between being calm and good and your responsibility to tell people when they do harm to you and therefore maybe also to others. How do you find that balance? Because I find a hard time by doing that, because when I was at my work and then I tried to follow your advices and I even took your pictures, so I always remember, okay, think what Master said, and then I kept it inside, and then all of a sudden when I did that very much with a lot of people, and then all of a sudden I burst, and then I was very angry at one person, but he just did just a little thing. So I think it's not good to keep it and always be calm. Sometimes you must you must tell people how they harm you or also other people. But how do you find that balance? I hope I can find your advice. And maybe this new soul is all taking care of this, but I don't want to be lazy in this. Maybe I have to work for this myself as well. So I hope you can give me advice for this. My second question is about the article. In the article says that your ego is also being formed by kind of beings, and they are also have influence on your ego. And can you elaborate more about these beings, and how do we have to deal with this? Do we affect them, or is there some way of have influence on that, or is it just do we just accept it, or do we have to do something with these beings? And can you tell us more about it? Thank you.
Last few days, I answered to you. Before I answer, I want to show you a few points. As Vu translate in Vietnamese, from Vietnamese, as Vu translate, people would listen, so that I would know what the question is, so that you can answer. You can see, I do not pay attention. I only hear a few words, even though Vu translate clearly so that you can hear, but I only hear a few words. Or even if I forget, I just ask Teresa. Teresa, just give me a few words. And in a few words, I know your intention, what you are trying to ask. In the future, you listen through the thought, through the energy. Then you only need a few words. Then you know what is the question. And perhaps sometimes you answer more than the person who asked the question. That is a special case that in the future you will be just like me. You would think that you are so good, but in fact it is the new soul that help you. So listen carefully. Only in that way, then you would have the wisdom, then you will have the enlightenment. The human is above the human, and the human a little above the human, then they can help the human. So now let me answer for you. Through the presentation of this student, as you know, anyone who cause problem to you, you merge with them. If they are good, they stay there. If not, they will leave. Let's say in your work, let's say with problems, you merge collectively. For those who are bad, good, they stay around. The bad one, they go to diarrhea and they leave the work. So I always tell them to go to the diarrhea. No matter what kind of medication they take, they still go have a diarrhea. So in the only way for them is to give up the job. It is so simple. I do not cause any problem. So easy for me, because your intention is you want to help others. Sometimes they are so bad. You try to help them to leave their job. It is not you have a bad intention. If not, if they stay around, others would kill them. That would be worse. So they rather have a diarrhea attack. It is better for them. That's the formula for new people. New soul is to help to avoid the accident and unfortunate accident, and for the supervisors, those with the power. So with the condition that I give you a condition very clearly, I show you the way. If there is new soul, they are very strict. not for your own personal interest to hurt others. If you try to do that, it is you who will suffer. If you do that several times, they will leave you. Once they leave you, you die because you try to, your intention is to hurt others. They want to help others. If you try to hurt others, and he said that I saw that you are good with a good body when they enter to your body, and you are bad. And then when 5 or 7 times you are bad, they will leave and go around. They ask God and ask Master Dang to go around. The only way for your body is to either cremate or bury. So that's how I share with you. Do not think that the soul of this human race with wisdom and enlightenment, they come to you and you can do anything. I remind your body like this. That is how you can use the power. With this, they erase the power because of the power that they have to return back to help the mankind, so that we do not hang on the material power, but the spiritual power, that is to help the material power in order to develop on the spiritual path. This is something you can do. That is our mission at this point. You need to take note carefully on this. If not, if you try to abuse the power from these beings, and you try to do the wrong things, and you try to force all the soul to follow you, then you totally fail. I know in the business, many people, they want to gain a lot of profit. That in doing business, you want to gain more profit. That's why I let you have 10 to 30% profit. They can sell 1, but you can sell 10, for example. I do not tell you you buy 100 and you sell for 90. Especially for those of you with a piece of land or property, you buy 100 and you can sell for 50, 60. You can do it because in the future that piece of land will be only 30. That is how I want to share with you, so you can understand, so you can help your boss, your supervisor, if they act correctly. If when you merge through that person, he do right for the benefit of the company, for the benefit of all the employee. But you take side of one person and that person is wrong. If you take side of that person, and then you would hurt the whole company. So you need an unbiased mind. For your boss, you just merge to your boss. Whether he's do right and he continue to progress to help others. If he do wrong, then he will be replaced and a good person will come to you. Now, you do not hate anyone. You just love. For his job, whatever they do right or wrong, then you leave it to the soul of the first to the fourth human race to take care. This is something they can do to help you to have wisdom and enlightenment. This soul will help you. Now it is time for Holland. I see that many of you over there, you're sitting here, you are nodding your head. When you meditate, you do not nod your head. I see many of you are nodding your head up here. Perhaps you're saying so late yesterday.
Hello, dear. It is a noise.
Headphone close to the mic.
No, everything is closed.
There's a headphone close to the mic.
Oh, I think yes. Okay. Hello, Master. Thank you very much, and thank you very much for being able to reach this level. And thank everybody in the organization. I have several questions. They are regard to technical things. First one, how do we make a transfer for a pregnant person before, during, and the end of the pregnancy? And does the transfer differs if it is a normal birth or a scissors cut? I have a person in my family who has a fracture of femoral bone. He cannot perform an operation because he has a heart problem. Can we do something in addition to the individual transfer to try to repair the bone? That was the first question. The second question, how do we do the transfer for pets? And if it is a special transfer, if the pets are ill, and normal transfer to sustain that pet. Third question, I did not remember correctly. How do we make the transfer, the merge with the antenna 1 or 3 times? We merge 1 time, or do we merge 3 times? And the fourth question, as I understood correctly, and I want your confirmation, we are the soldiers of light. That is, our body is the same material, and the new soul is one of the soul of the unknown soldiers which entered our body. Is that true? And the last question, if we have fissures, gaps in vertebra of the column, can we do something in addition to the individual transfer, to the normal transfer? And the question is related also to the column problem, if it is something different. Thank you very much, dear Master. Was it clear?
Paul, can you repeat?
Yes, Guru.
Can you repeat the last one? I missed a few words.
If we have ruptures on vertebra, on the spinal column, do we do something in addition to the normal transfer? If it is something more we can do. And this question is related also to problems of the spinal column in general.
Thank you.
For nothing.
Mute, Holland. Mute, please.
Hello. Now, through your question, let me share with you, in the case of these techniques, in the case of a woman with pregnancy, you only need to merge 1 time during the delivery to prepare to give birth. Then you can merge 3 times. Then the infant will have a lot of energy, and the health of the baby will be very stable, and even the baby will be intelligent, because you are nurtured with the energy, with the high soul. Therefore, that infant will be a good one. If that is in your family, then these infants, when they are born, they are much different comparing to other children, especially for those of you who are level 20 and you are pregnant. So you listen carefully. That is in the case of the technique for transfer energy and treatment. Each day you only need to transfer energy for treatment once. For you yourself, you only need to receive the energy into your chakra 7 directly, 2 seconds, and then you and then I merge with your chakra 6 3 times, and that's all. You do not need to treat any local area. After you had treat yourself, then now you are starting to pray for the soul of Master Dang to merge with you 3 times. Then you transfer energy individually, collectively. On that whole day, you don't have to pray for Master Dang to merge with you anymore. However, if you wish to, then you can still merge. There's no problem with that. So I have the technique clearly for you. And in the morning, let's say when you are treating for yourself already, in the afternoon you have an emergency, you fall down, you hurt yourself, and you don't even need to treat the local. I told you already. If you pray for my soul to merge with you, then you would lose 50%. Let's say in the past you have to place the hand. Now you don't need to. You just pray to my soul to merge with you 3 times. I transfer energy from your head down to your toe, anywhere. Then the energy will draw in a lot. You may recover 50% right away for the antenna model in the future. Now, as you know where you have the antenna, so right now, only in Vietnam they have the 3 big antenna. the antenna at the altar in Australia. So in the future, in one country to another, they have the antenna. Then you pray, and you merge your soul to the antenna in the north and south Vietnam. You don't even need to know the exact location. You merge to the pyramid at the altar in Australia, and you merge to the antenna in country A, B, or C. You only need to know where it is. The antenna in a country, in the state, in America, if you know the place, then you merge. If you know the exact location, then you merge. I explained for you in general on that. So you don't have to be confused. Like in the case of emergency, and a number of you who said the person with many of these symptoms that you had asked, you only need to transfer energy 3 seconds to the chakra 7 of the sick person, and you merge. If it is a minor problem, merge one time. If the major problem, 3 times, or collectively 3 times, add that one in the list, and you are treating the whole. So you listen carefully. You said that in the past, and you have the heart. The energy that you are merging for the whole body, from the smallest soul of the cell in your body, you are activating all of them. So like in the past you treat the local, but now you have more ability. Why you do have to do the local? In the past you are walking, and you see in Vietnam you see the car, and you have the bicycle, and then you see the Chinese car is it better, and then you have the motorcycle, and then they have a motorcycle from China, and suddenly they have the Korean motorcycle is much better, and then slowly many of these motorcycle and cars, and then later on you go by the rockets, much faster. So now with the fastest means, then you do it. Now you keep sitting there and you pray too much, and by the time you do it, it's too slow, then they die. All you need is 5 seconds. You can save millions of people. Listen carefully. If you are slower than 5 seconds, millions would die. So in any case of emergency, if you have the time, you do with the right technique, just like I explained to you. Now you have a very strong accident. You do not pray. You pray to Master Dang too much. Master Dang, so by the time the second time you say it, you die. You just think of my soul, and I'm right there immediately to help you to recover, and 50% recover. In summary, in any situation, emergency, you don't pray. You just think of the soul Master Dang, and I'm there to help you. And afterwards, when you regain consciousness, then you have to do the right technique. And during that moment of urgency, and you keep on try to do with the right technique, then it is not appropriate depending on this situation. And I want to remind you, so you have the chance to help yourself and help others. That is my general answer to all. For the pets at home, I told you already. Even the ants you can watch, and or the pets that you watch them, and you have to take care of them. And later on they jump on your bed and sleep with you because they like you with the energy that you help them. Because many of you like, I just tell you, I do not have cats or dogs, but when they are hungry, I give food to them. I do not like this pet with the being dirty. You know why I'm so careful? If you know it, then you are very clever. You know why right now I'm so careful? Because in the past I was so dirty. I was so dirty in the past. I do not have soap, and my hair is dirty. My hair in the past, I just use my 5 fingers to comb my hair. And now when I take them, many of them with their hair always sticking up. It's not like the hair like this. From the 1st grade to the 8th and 12th grade, the boy and the girl, they have hairdos sticking up. In the past, when I was young, the teacher would hit me. In the past, they hit me already. So now I just want to share with you, depending on the circumstance that you can apply. Do not be so rigid. You have to be more flexible. In that way, you can help yourself and you can help others. Now, as you know, these higher souls, as you merge to the altar of mankind ancestors, you merge into the monument of unknown soldier. You merge, you think that you are helping them, Sometimes when you merge, they help you. It's not that you are helping them because they are so high. We do not know. First, second, third, fourth. You know who's high, who's low. If they are all equal, but if you are lower than them, then they can help you. In a way, you merge, meaning that you receive. It doesn't mean that you give. The two is different. Do not misunderstand. You merge to the monument of unknown soldier in Australia or anywhere. You merge to the altar of mankind ancestor. You merge to receive the energy from them. It doesn't mean that you give to them your energy. Do not misunderstand. Listen carefully. Just like right now, you transfer energy to the altar of Hùng Vương ancestor. You do not know who have the ability to do it. But who knows, he has more power than you. But we come there. If it is equal, it's good. If we are lower than them, then they give to us. So in a way, you do one, you benefit three. So today I explained to you clearly. Do not think that your soul is from the first human race. You transfer energy, meaning you help them. No. Our mission is to transfer energy. If we are high, we give it to them. If we are lower, then they give it to us. So in a way, you do one, you have two benefits. So in that way, for the past few days, I explained to you the good and the bad. The people who you love and you hate, do not think good or bad about them. Good or bad, you still transfer energy to them and you merge with them. So when they are good, they are better. If they are bad, then they'll change. If not, they resign. That's all. So this is an unbiased way. In the past, you think that person, you hate that person, you transfer energy to help them to be demoted. With the hatred, for sure, it is not you. That is a level 19. You have that. So many of you in level 19, you still have that hatred. In level 20, you don't have any more hatred. So now I told you, in the case of problem with the spinal cord in the past, in level 19, then you have to transfer energy 9 times. It takes a long time. It takes a long time to deal with it, even though 9 times. So now all you need is to merge 30 seconds, the whole body, if that is a severe problem. So it is all the way from the head down to the toes. You don't have to worry about this location, that location, or sometimes when you are so rushed. Some of the people in Australia, they said that the heart is on the left and then you transfer to the right and it's not working. They said that people have the heart on the left and his heart is on the right. So one of the Vietnamese, he said that his heart is on the right. So what can we do? It already happened. Not just in Australia. Some of my students, they said that the heart is on the left, but their heart is on the right. So if it's on the right, then you do it on the right. So next question in Holland.
Vu, can you inform the master that the temperatures in Romania dropped to 36 degrees the next day, that is 20 degrees off?
Buenos días, querido maestro, Teresa. Good morning, dear master, dear Teresa. ¿Dónde está la chica de la pregunta? Ya. First question. She would like to know, those people that causes you a lot of problem, they are also from level 20. She would like to know if she can make the fusion, the merging with the level 20 students, if these students causes a lot of problem to her. Second question. What do we do with the conception without a sperm? Can you explain in a more profound way, please, Master? Can we do the merging with the antenna model? And how can we get the electricity now in this level 20? Is it clear, Vu?
Yes.
Okay, gracias.
Now, as you see, I let you during the time of the level 20. In the case of the temperature of the heat of 50 degrees Celsius, it may cause a lot of death if they don't have a proper air conditioner. But with a lot of electricity, it may cause also a power loss. This is a way for you to apply only one. In the future, like I mentioned to you for the past few days, after the seminar, when you go back to your homeland, to your country, you would do 10 times, 100, maybe 1,000 times more to contribute in many situations, not just in the one situation of sickness. To prove to you, so you can see, as I still remember very clearly, 6% from your country, the nurse and the doctor that was supposed to be in a death sentence, with your love, that you are helping the people in Romania. You are in the level 19 in January in 2007 when we were in Melbourne, during the time when we meditate to travel out to space. All of you, concentrate to that area to pray, to help these people to be safe. We are fortunate that during the past few days, and you also hear the news, I also hear the news through the Vietnamese radio in Melbourne, who mentioned that a doctor with 5 nurses who set free to go back to your country after 7 years sentence. So these are the way to mark for you, so you know when you have the love, real love between the humans, when you are helping a region, when they have the catastrophe, contamination in the area. As you pray, you have the ability, then for sure you can help. So these two events, that in this level 20, it is to prove, so you can see the time that the high being with the ability to merge with your body, to contribute, to help the new humans, the new world, the new earth, so that it is appropriate to the people with wisdom, enlightenment, that for the first time you have seen. But there are many other situations. It is not just the situation that I had mentioned to you. As you know, like that, try your best to learn so that you can do it. Recently, I had answered to you, if in the same level, 20, and the soul that merged to you to help you to have wisdom, enlightenment, to avoid the situation of selfishness and power, if for any reason, intentional or intentional, if the soul from the first to the fourth human races, if they are not able to convince your body, they will leave your body. Meaning they will leave your body. It doesn't mean that they change. It doesn't mean that they leave and another soul will come. If they cannot help your body, then there's no other who can help you. The only one who can help you, that is the fire or earth, meaning cremation or burial. Those are the only two guardians that can help you. It doesn't mean that I'm sending the warning to cause you to fear, because you learn for the love of the people, your country. It doesn't mean that you come to learn from Master Dang, and Master Dang tell you to know this technique and that technique, so that you go out and boast, or you cause problem and chaos. In that way, then you do not love. If you do not love, the other one want to help you with the real ability, so that you can express true love to really help people. But if you do the wrong things, they are not able to handle it. Through the journey, and you have seen that already. You have learned through already. Sometimes it is wrong, sometimes it's right, sometimes intentional or unintentional. So this being had taught you through your whole journey. And now the highest one, I hope that the highest one here will be able to convince you, to help you, so you don't have to worry. I tell you the truth, so you can rest assured. And I want to give you a general answer for those who died, as we are able to revive in person, not from a distance. How can you do it from a distance? How you do merge? Instead of merging to the dead, you merge to the living people. So you have to do it in person to revive a dead person. That is how I explained for you. Yesterday I explained to you already, for the woman who do not have a husband, If you want to conceive, or if you are married, you can try it in 1 month. I show you. Each day, you just practice to travel to space. Whether you can or you cannot travel out to space, my point is, each time when you practice, you merge with the soul master Dang 3 times. Then you merge to your uterus 3 times. Listen carefully. The reason I tell you to merge into your uterus, it is a way to form the infant without the sperm. During the ovulation, the egg ovulation, it combines with your energy to form the infant. This is God who gives the infant to the humankind. If it happened, as I mentioned to you already, then in 3 months, 10 days, it will be just like in the case of a miscarriage, you bring the fetus out through your energy transfer, through your merging, you are able to help the infant. That would not be the high being, but in fact, the soul is from the 1st to the 4th human race, with highly capability to help this 5th human race right here. Now, for you, you have the antenna model. You merge just like a sick person. You see the antenna at home. You can see that as a person, just like an object. You just need to merge 1 time. You think with your chakra 6, because in the past you transfer energy to last chakra. Now you only just think of the antenna, then your soul will merge to the antenna. Before you merge to the antenna, remember, either you when you do it continuously to many of these objects, before you do that to any of this region or object, you have to merge with my soul first, then you can merge to this object that you wish to merge to. So you listen carefully on that part. And in the case of the antenna model, you have to prepare. We do not know when. Perhaps there is a power loss 3 days all over the world. At that time, you can generate electricity. It's not too late. For that reason, in Australia here, in Sydney, more than 1,000 kilometers away from Melbourne, the government in Sydney had warned to the people to prepare candle batteries and all the necessity for medical. If there is a tidal wave, if they have a catastrophe, at least they will lose the power for 3 days. That is the warning from the government in Sydney, in Australia, right here. In America, my students from America who come to Australia, in Louisiana, as they had the storm, they also mentioned that the case of the flu epidemics, that they have to prepare to prevent. And this time, the virus will infect the lung. People would die in a short time if they don't have the right vaccine to deal with it. That is how I share the news, as I want to share with you why. So we can prepare the ubi water, the ubi garlic water. That is a way that you are able to save yourself and others. If it happened in the case of the flu epidemics, that I see very strange. From a medical perspective, they are very clever, but in the case of the flu virus, that in England, they use garlic. I don't know what kind of garlic that they use. My formula is different, and if we can use the ubi garlic water, then our ubi garlic water will be more effective. I just share with you so you have a chance to help ourselves and others in the case of a sickness by using the ubi garlic water that we mixed. Now go on next question.
Meneer, toch was hij het?
betale alsjeblieft.
Goedemorgen.
Good morning, Master Dang. I like to thank you very much, not only on behalf of myself, but also because of my family. We had to conquer a lot of problems before we could go here. On the 9th of July, it was not sure that we could go, but thanks to you and to God, we were able to come to this seminar. I have one small practical question and a more complicated question. First, you have said that we can only send local energy transfer when there are missing limbs or organs. What can we do when we have a loose tooth? So, in which part of the support tissue has disappeared? Can we also use this locally, or can we give only a general treatment in that case? And then a question about something I do not really understand. Maybe it is not well translated, or maybe I didn't understand it. You have said that our new soul at level 20 will come from the 4 earlier civilizations. You also said at one moment that this higher soul are looking down to us and not want to merge with us now, but after level 20 we have completed that, it will be different. Furthermore, I understood that we are all the higher beings from the first and second and earlier civilizations. If this is correct, how is it possible that we look down on ourselves and that we can merge with ourselves? In fact, we are the higher beings from the 5 civilizations. Are you the one who is mediating, because you call yourself a mediator between those different parts of ourselves so that we can reach peace in ourselves? And because we are essentially one, but we do not know that with our consciousness, is this the only way to create peace for mankind? I hope my question is clear enough for you. I find it very complicated. Thank you very much that I'm able to answer this question and that I can follow your lessons, and I hope that I will be a better student from you, Master, after this level 20. Thank you.
Now let me explain for you. That would be like a local area. So as you talk about the tooth, I want to explain for you, like in the case of my own tooth, that the dentist who's sitting right in front of me right here, also my students, nobody dare to touch my tooth. But as this dentist took a photograph, that is a very loose tooth, and with my tooth, perhaps it is a very loose. 90 to 95% very loose because of the touch of the nerve. So that's why the dentist did not dare to have a tooth extraction. So when I come to Melbourne, the dentist over here do not dare to take it out. But fortunately, because they don't take it out, that's why this tooth right here, as I transfer energy, it is hard, it is stronger, not even 100%, but at least 90-95%, no more pain. Supposedly they would take it out, but they could not. Therefore, you do not treat the local, but you apply the technique in general for the whole, except only case of the tooth loss. If you want to merge wherever it is a tooth loss, then you can help it to grow. But if you have a fake tooth, then it will be difficult. If it is grow, it will be blocked. So if you want to help to tooth growth, a number of you, the students in level 16 up to level 19, that you had experiment, but you could not keep the tooth. It grow, perhaps several one grow, but they are still weak. So that is how I share with you in the case about the technique of treatment. Now I explained to you already. Me and you, we are from the 5th human race. Supposedly we will have wisdom enlightenment already. You know who? Everybody would go to Egypt to research. But then, through the journey in Egypt, as I learned from the deities, I do not look at the books. I do not look at the books. The master in Egypt, for many thousands of years ago, to open chakra 100%, it's not like you. It's so difficult. Perhaps it might take several times, meaning several lifetimes, to be able to open chakra 100%. And they never, the people from Egypt, can merge to anyone. For that reason, they try to keep their body for thousands of years to wait for the chance for the soul to merge in. They could not, because they did not learn. That is the 5th human race on earth. To follow the 4th human race, that was in Atlantis. The people who did not have the capacity, so how can you? Even though they had the real power, but how many of them would be able to reach the ability, just like the people in Atlantis, which is the 4th human race, or the 3rd, 2nd, or the 1st human race? Just like a number of you, you don't know whether you choose them or they choose them. You think that you're not deserving or not. You don't need, because they borrow your body to help your body to complete the mission, to help your body to have wisdom, enlightenment, to help your body to have health, to live long, so that you are able to serve mankind. That is the wish of this being. They want you to live long, because they have lived for hundreds or thousands of years in the past. They do not want you to die young. It doesn't mean that we want to live and we are afraid of death. But at this moment, we are fortunate. That means they have the ability, they know the way to protect the body that they had lived in the past, millions and millions of years ago. That is how I want to share with you. So we are not the 4th to the 1st human race, but the first soul from the 1st to the 4th human race, they merge into our body to merge to you. I already know this. Starting in this level 20, only a few days they reveal this to me. I do not know about this. As I learn, the deities show me, but I do not know this. If I know, sometimes when I know, I would say it to you. So that's why they block me. I would not know. The moment I know it, I will say it. So I would not know. Only in the class, when you come to the class, when I start to teach, then suddenly I know the program that they carry out. Then I teach you. Then when you want to know further, as you ask the question, I answer about the technique, the principle, the practice, or in one way or another, to help our bodies to have wisdom, enlightenment, to help our body to know. We have the ability from the soul of this being that merged to our body, so that we have the opportunity to contribute to help the communities in the world. So you listen carefully. Now you are not yet. We don't have anything yet. They're not waiting for you. Because for us, we think that they are waiting. The moment at the end, when you hear me singing the song, then it is done. So rest assured, do not worry. I explained to you already. I'm not the mediator. This soul from the first human race, they know who would come down here and who's not down here. The one who are not down here on earth, they have the unbiased mind. Unbiased mind meaning they don't have any partisan, meaning they are calling and sharing, and also to help the soul to merge to the body, to help the body with wisdom and enlightenment, to help the body with healthy, so that the body with wisdom and enlightenment, then that soul to prepare to be unknown without the notion of one race or another. There is only one, which is the fifth human race, will become the first human race. That is how they present to me, and I share with you, so you can understand the reason. In fact, I do not research about the first, the second, the third, or the fourth human race. But then, I'm very surprised when I teach you in level 20, then everything has changed. It's so new. I myself, I see this thing as so new. It's not that I already learned. I learned already something. I learned about the technique, so that we can promote our health, to prolong our lifespan. I learned the technique to merge. I learned the technique to transfer energy for treatment. I learned a technique to merge to all the living creatures. And about the concept of the soul of the first to the fourth human race to merge with the fifth human race, I did not learn about this. Perhaps that is a secret, that when you come to the class, then I explain that to you, so that I continue to explain further something that is not clear for you. So I explain, so you are able to learn in order to apply. One more question in Holland.
Dear Master, salutations from Holland to you and Lady Teresa, Olaf, Fernanda and Christina. I've got a few questions that I would like to ask you. First, if we no longer use the energy of the light of God's aura for merging, what kind of energy are we using nowadays? Does it have a name or is it nameless? Can you give us a few key points for start preparing for hard work due to just about to start earthly, spiritually substantial changes in climate, water, food, energy changes on Earth, Earth's balance, and so on? About the chakras that you mentioned yesterday, a few students are a little bit confused, and we'd really like to know if you can elaborate on that question. Because on the basic level, until level number 5, we were told that our chakras would be open permanently until 100%, unless we did something really bad and wrong. Now you've told us that our chakras will go into regression if we do not work. Well, for my share, I try to do the best that I can, but I've got to work 8 hours to 10 hours on numbers and figures on my work, and that's what pays for me to come to seminars. But I'd really like and would really appreciate if you could elaborate on that question for us. Thank you. Because I think that God is love and not punishment, as I reckon. So if you could help us on this question, I'd really like that. Thank you. For last, you asked us not to be that scientific, so I think for my share, I've quitted on that and I've stopped permanently, thank God. But why do you worry so much and care so much about scientists? Do they have a special mission and task? And can you envision where are we heading nowadays towards the future? Thank you, sir. My regards.
Now let me explain for you. Supposedly I don't want to say it, so perhaps I have to say it. Today is the 4th day. If I don't say it, perhaps I may forget. How come You learn from level 1 up to level 19. Always you use the light of the sun, the light of the stars, and then the light of God's aura. And now I just tell you only, you only hang on to one thing. You only receive the light of God's aura 2 seconds to yourself, and you send 3 seconds only one time only. One day, in a day, one time. So you can forget about the light of God's aura. The reason I present to you, so you listen carefully. The humans can help the humans. Beyond the human, no one can help the human. And that is the human. The deity has given to you the ability already, but you do not accept it. You keep on praying to them. And for the past 19 times of the change of the soul, you still depend on them. So now, in the level 20, you are the unknown soldier, the soul who knows, who can use, who can transform into universal energy to travel to space. It's not so difficult to them. For that reason, this soul merged to you. I do not want you to pray. They do not need to pray. It doesn't mean that you denied God. God does not need you to pray to God, because God had given everything to us. In the level 7 special, as you learn to pray, cầu nguyện Ngọc Hoàng Thượng Đế, in level, the advanced level, I tell you not to do the prayer, because they had given to the ability, God allowed you to merge with God already. To measure your ability, you had done so, but you still keep on pray and depend on God. You don't see God anywhere. When you go to level 19, far or close, Master Dang, save me. You can see. When you are sick, headaches everywhere, you keep on calling Master Dang. Aches and pains, and children have problems, you call Master Dang. The human can help the human. That is Master Dang who helps you. Even though you go to the church, you pray to Christ, to God, you go to a temple, you pray, but then you're not sure, you call Master Dang, it's better. Is it right? Slowly, as I explained to you, and eventually in the future, you do not receive the light of God's aura. God had given this unknown soldier already. Also, the soul from the first to the fourth human race to you already. So why should you pray? Who do you help? Maru in Mexico want to merge to the planet, the star, the moon, the sun. They do not need. On earth they need. They have given to you already. They give to you the mission here already. So, 34 years ago, I learned, the deities who taught me, the human can help the human. Beyond the human, no one can help the human. These are the humans with the ability, that the ability the deities had already given to you. I explained to you. So, about the chakras. The chakra, as I taught you, so you can teach the people who just come to learn EV. But now, your body, you still have the body, and you still have the chakras. You close your eyes, you practice for 5 minutes, 7 minutes, 10 minutes, you lose all the sensation of your body. Your body can transform into energy. There's no more chakras. You don't even need the chakras, but there is for the body, so that you can teach the other students from low to the high levels. Only the case when you come to the chakra, to the level 6, I do not discuss about the chakras, but you still need to know that the concept. Why? When you go to the higher levels, you can explain to those who just come to learn. Slowly they come to level 6, they will be just like you. They don't need the chakra anymore. They have the same energy like for us. The energy travel all over the body, all of the organs inside the body, you are able to heal. That is the reason in the higher levels, I do not want you to talk about the chakra, but you need to know the concept of the chakra so you can teach those who just come to learn EV. Now I say, I do not force you to give up the job. The more you work, the better. I do not tell you to give up your job. My point is, if you deny it, you throw it away, and I take it and give it to others. listen carefully because you do not need this. Through this question, I just want to share with you one of the funny story. Over here, I have a student who is here for level 20 from America. This person with a level 6 with a pyramid, 2-3 years with the practicing, throw it away. I did not tell the student or the instructor. I did not tell them when you lose energy, all you need is just call me. In 30 seconds, I can transfer energy to readjust for you, and you continue on to learn. But my student is very strict. He said that if you give it up already, you have to come and learn again to have the chakra open 30% again, and come back and learn again, and then to have to reach the level 6 to have the chakra. And after he done so, he reported to me. It is also good being strict. I want to help them so they have a chance to learn. But he said no, because he didn't let me know. If he let me know, then I would stop him. I'll talk to that person. I transfer energy to readjust for that person. That person does not have to go back and learn from level 1 up to level 6 again. But it is by fate and destiny. I just want to share with you, so you can understand. I do not force you to do that, to leave up your job. I tell you, you spend the time to work so you can have the money to come to class, and then you fail. You spend the time and effort to come to learn failures. Listen carefully, you fail. It's not success. After 19 levels, you spend the time and effort to learn failures. To fail in material, to fail in society, but then you succeed in this level 20. But if you did not spend the time and effort to learn the failures, these are the means for you to learn all of them, you would not have anything. But then in this class, all of those beings that have wisdom enlightenment, the soul of those who have wisdom enlightenment to merge with your body, that is in infinite wealth. Even if you are a billionaire, you cannot buy it. I tell you the truth. You think about it. This is the first class that I explained to you. This is not the first class that you have the ability. From level 5.1, you have the ability, and level 3 with the chakra open 100%. All you need is 5 minutes to help the wandering soul to evolve already, not to mention about the higher levels. That is how I want to remind to you, so you can rest assured. God repay, God give you the blessing as you spend the time and effort to come to learn from failure, so now you can succeed. You succeed really in a spiritual path. All of your hard work, all the time, the effort that you spend to come to learn, so that today, in a terminology from a spiritual perspective, it means that you are enlightened. Because it is so easy for you, as your body like this, and a higher soul that can come to help you. You can never have this achievement if you do not fail after the 19 levels in the past. Listen carefully. You learn all the fake one, so now you have the real one. So you have more work to do because you wish. I do not force you. You ask, I give. And my point, the point of your body to contribute something to help your family, your country, your people, that is your wish. Let your wish come to you and you succeed already. That is how I share with you. And now as you ask, the scientists have sent warning all over the world. For the past few years, in the recent one, in 2007, the world has concerned that the global warming, the threat in the environment, only in that alone, you will not have any free time. You can help anywhere. In that sense, you can be very busy. Only that alone, not to mention about any other things. The leaders in the world, the countries in the world, they have meetings and conferences. Only in that way, you see that you have a lot of work. I do not force you to give up your job to do it. You can still work, and in your job, you can still transfer energy, you can still merge. Let's say you watch TV, you can merge. When you work with the computer, you can still merge. It doesn't mean that I tell you to stop working with computer. You can still work with computer, receive and send email. You can still do that. But your soul can still merge to others. to merge to anywhere that you wish to merge to. You can still do it. It doesn't mean I force you to take half an hour from your work and then you can merge here or there. You can still do your work and you can still merge for that reason. In the case of practicing with the warm water, so that you can transform into energy from 10 to 30 minutes, so that your body can lose all the sensation and regain the sensation, live going back in and out so easily. That is my experience, so I can share with you, so you are able to do it. Do not think that you don't have any work. I'm afraid that you are lazy. If you want to work, that you have a lot of work for you. You only just listen to the radio and see the television, and suddenly you see a lot of things for you to do. Eventually, the news media, all of the hot news, will be all over the world. Then you see so many things that you have to do. I'm afraid that you don't have anything to do. That's all I can say. I don't want to say any more than that. I base on the scientists. The scientists, they have the contribution in their research. We have the contribution in our application. So we divide the blessing into two. Eventually, the large EV family, there are so many scientists that can help to develop on the spiritual path. Then we will have everything for the sake of humankind, for the high soul, to help to evolve just like us. It doesn't mean that we are high so that we can boast, or we can have a power struggle and selfishness, and you hang on to our power. These issues because you do not deserve to receive this high soul. So we have to get rid of these things. Never think about these things. As we have the power in the darkness, then you have everything. And never have the power out in the light. Then you cause problem all over the world. Listen carefully. That is to this question from this student. I want to share with you, so that this student, as well as all of you, in this relocation of this level 20, you can understand, you know, you can apply to contribute to help the communities in the world and your country in particular. Now, in Thailand, you can ask now. Dear Master, I'm from Ho Chi Minh City. First, I would like to thank you to save my two grandchildren, one in America, one in Vietnam. They were severely sick. Now, the one in Vietnam, he recovered and go back to work. After 2 months of treatment, the one in America also recovered, but the problem still reoccurred. I have still a few issues I would like for you to explain for me. In society, there are many problems of violence, killings, in order to rob people. In EV, is there a way to prevent these problems, crimes? Is there a way that the robbers can return the things to these people that they robbed from? Secondly, Vietnam is developing on a spiritual path to reach wisdom, so that Vietnam can have peace. Is it the way, the event? Now my request, on the 10th of August, I would be able to go to America to help him to with his health. Right now, you had allowed me to teach level 6. I would like to ask you to give me permission to teach from the level 1 to the level 7 and the advanced level 1 to my children. I would like to thank you and the organizers to give me the chance to come to this class to learn this level 20. So through this presentation, there are a few points. The most important part about Vietnam at the present time and in the future. So let me answer to this student as well as many of you. Perhaps my answer, the Vietnamese inside and outside the country, you'll be glad. Just like in Australia, I just presented to you. Now this being about to merge with you, now I want to merge to this to them, to see whoever have the ability to return to answer, so I can see if the answer is right or not, so we can see. Right now I do not know how to answer, I just prepare. Now I ask, now what do you want? Now, for all of us, in the case of social problem in general, the location where I live right now, in fact, 10 years ago, it has a lot of problems. That is a place right here, it is not safe. But when I place the sign to open the centers in here to teach the development of human latent ability right here, suddenly the crime reduced only to 5%, from 100 down to only 5%. They all moved elsewhere. To bring the peace to the location where I started the center of UE, that is in my part. For you in many countries, I share with you. For the past few days, as I mentioned to you, how to merge to the school, to the hospital, to the jails, to the supermarkets, to the public places, to the places where you travel to. On your journey as you travel, you merge to all of them. To have all the living creatures there, meaning all the souls. The soul of the humans and living creatures, the soul of those who are humans and non-human. On your journey or anywhere that you wish to merge to, you can. As you love your country, you love your people, you love those who have some problem, I give you my opinion. It's not that this lady from Vietnam, but many of you, in any region that we have a lot of social problem, then you transparency 3 times. You ask the Soul Master Dang to merge with you 3 times, and then you merge to that region A 3 times. Let's say in Hóc Môn City, or the provinces in Ho Chi Minh City. Then you circle this area on the map. Then you merge 3 times to these areas. And any province that they have some severe social problem, then you have a smaller circle to that exact location, and you merge to that exact location. Then it will reduce the social problem. If you wish to help, you can do this. Only in that way you can see you have a lot of work. You are afraid that you don't have anything to do. There are so many for you to do. So that you can establish the peace and security to the region where you live. You can do this not only in just in Vietnam, but all over the world. This happens everywhere, more or less. That is the formula I just shared with you in general. So after you go back, you can do it. You do it in Ho Chi Minh City. There are so many county or provinces. You try to merge in Ho Chi Minh City, and in region A, B, or C, where they have a lot of social problem with robbery or drug addicts, you merge to this area with a severe problem, so that you're able to neutralize, and eventually it will diminish. That is my opinion I share with you. This is something you can do. Try to do it for your country, your people, for your neighbors, to bring peace and happiness. Now, on this, I'll try to say to you, I will not see anyone who said, oh, you only see Master Lảo MINH ĐÁNG talking. But one of the special case in UE, mankind, enlightenment, love, that the teaching of UE, we want to help people with the wisdom of the body and enlightenment of the soul. For the past few days, for the past few years, recently in the year 2006, in the progress of Vietnam on the development of spirituality, in order to go and introduce to all the country in the world to come to Vietnam for tourism, for research study. That in Vietnam, they refer to the development of spirituality, to call on the world to come to Vietnam for tourism, to research about the scenery, and as the way they are able to develop on the spiritual path. Only the government in Vietnam accept that. Then they had so many projects that the government had approved. Among this project, I had contributed a part. Listen carefully, and that part the government has paid attention to. But then the name of the President of Vietnam, Mr. Nguyễn Minh Triết, that the prophet in the past had said that Nguyễn had left and Nguyễn will return. They keep on thinking that Nguyễn would mean the King Gia Long. If he returned, he will come to visit his grave. But he said that if he come back and say that he's King Gia Long, because people will leave, will run, because nobody will know his face. But Nguyễn Minh Khiêm, one of the famous prophets in Vietnam, he was very well known. He said that Nguyễn had left and Nguyễn returned back. Who's Nguyễn? In Vietnam, there are so many Nguyễn. And now, in my country, for the first time, that we develop on a spiritual path to help all of the people in all 5 continents, as you can come there for tourism, to learn on a spiritual path in Vietnam. And the name, his name is Minh Triết, and the last name is Nguyễn. I do not know whether it fit the prophet Nguyễn Minh Khiêm. Perhaps these are the people. He said that Nguyễn left and Nguyễn returned back. Nguyễn died, and now a living Nguyễn is here. Hopefully, it is real that Vietnam will have peace. Because for the first time in the decade, in recent decades, the most important part is in the 20th century. In my country, we never develop on a spiritual path through many eras. I just calculate only within this 20th century. There's no leaders that can help to develop on a spiritual path. None. We do not have it. Even though with my age is so little, I checked through the books, we don't have anyone. Including 3 centuries or 2 centuries ago, the kings and the queens in my country in the past, none of them think about this. They perhaps think in theory, but not in real application. Now we are doing it. We're doing it in the year 2006. It never exists, but now it have. So, in my country, as you know, they receive many messages. That in Vietnam, they mention that, like in the case of the sacred writing, let's say this person is illiterate, and somebody merged with that person, and he was able to write the best poetry, but this person is supposed to be illiterate. But that is a strange thing, an illiterate person who can write a profound poem. And some other who are, these are the people who are completely illiterate, but they can write the best poetry. So these are the messages from the deities as they emerge into a person, and an ordinary person, so that they can write down many of the divine plan. Depending on time, they will know the divine plan. Because in my country, I know more about my country. As I explained to you about the development on the spiritual path, I had contributed a part on that. And the most important part, in the recent months, the teaching of Lảo, as the television in Vietnam had broadcast all over the country, the application of Lảo, and they have seen so many positive signs that in Lảo had been paid attention by the medical establishment in Vietnam. They had been applying it for 10 years, not just 1 year. At least from 1997 until the year 2007, for 10 years. On this, they had published all over. Perhaps the names match the name of the president at the present time, as well as on the development of spiritual path that Master Dan had contributed a little bit into the spiritual development in Vietnam, even though I'm not official to have a meeting, but indirectly I had contributed a part of it. The most important part is for the first time Vietnam had introduced the teaching of E all over the world. The effect of EE that has the effect in complementary medicine to protect health. That is not only in the country but all over the world. That was in last May. In fact, I do not pay attention to watch TV, but some of the EE students inside and outside the country had reported me, so I know about this. So on that, you know, just like 17 years ago, for the first time, as I taught in America, it's not that I'm a Vietnamese, but I praise the Vietnamese. But I said in the future, Vietnam perhaps will be the common ground for the development of spirituality in the field of science. Perhaps my country is behind other countries for 30 years, behind in science technology. But in the recent 5 years, my country, perhaps the people had traveled all over the world. The people in Vietnam had traveled all over the world. So the children, the younger generation, they are so capable. It doesn't mean that I'm boasting. One of my nephew, he's so clever. He works everywhere. I do not pay attention because they are the family members. But once I understand, I know they are very intellectual, including when going to Vietnam. The officials had invited him to help the country in the program of science and technology. I don't pay attention to this. To this question, I hope with everything I have the ability to contribute. Perhaps I will contribute to help the country and the people. On this, it's not so difficult for me. I also remind you about 17 years ago, I had said, eventually in the future, the people in Vietnam, even though we were behind 30 steps, but in the future, in the 21st century, perhaps they will go ahead 35 steps. And these 5 steps, these are the steps of the development on the spiritual path. And with this spiritual development, then we can develop in any aspect. We're able to succeed. About 17 years ago, I said that my student will be from the West. Even the Vietnamese do not believe. But I see very clear, 17 years ago, I still remember when I was teaching, I said that in the future, many of the socialist countries, they will invest. The socialist country, they will invest. I explained to you starting in 1990 already, about 17 years ago. My students do not believe me. They will never believe me. And I advise a number of the students who buy the land here and there, so that you will be rich. Nobody believed, but only one who believed. That one who believed, I do not want to say the name. That one from abroad who returned home. You know, the piece of land, 1 acre, perhaps only $500 US. Now 1 acre is about 500,000. Listen carefully. 1 acre is was $500 in the past. Now it is 500,000. Nobody dare to buy from $500. Now he can sell it for $500,000, 10,000 square meter. Whoever believe, buy, and then you can profit. So you can develop on your business. 17 years ago, I knew. And the project, I tell you, in 1990, the project to change the airport, THspodNhat Airport, I did not know, but I know that piece of land would be the international airport in Vietnam. But now they have that program right there in that town. 17 years ago, I already knew. It's not that right now I know. This is not to say that I'm a fortune teller or something. I'm not. I see that's how they have to change to meet the demands for the aircraft to land into Vietnam. Everything, 17 years, I knew it. I just share a few things. Perhaps God had planned to let the name of the president of the country and perhaps he will stay there for 5 years. Now he's as the president of Vietnam, inside and outside the country, had mentioned that the president of Vietnam right now, his last name is Nguyen, and the first name is Minh Triết. Minh Triết meaning in Vietnamese meaning wisdom. So now his name Minh Triết meaning wisdom. He's the country, the president of the country. This is one of the coincidence, and also appropriate at the present time. The Vietnamese, if they can develop on a spiritual path, then they have to have wisdom. And Minh Triết, he's the leader of the country. His name is Minh Triết. That is wisdom. That is how God can plan. He can even plan this to develop on a spiritual path. In my country, for 1 century, they never develop on a spiritual path. If they can do it on a spiritual path, then the leader of the country, his name is Nguyen Minh Triết. Minh Triết is wisdom. Perhaps this student in Vietnam who talk about the name of the leader, his name is Nguyen Minh Triết, as I have mentioned to you. Eventually, in the future, more or less, I would share and contribute in the development of spiritual path, so that the people in Vietnam will have a chance to develop higher on a spiritual path, to contribute, to help all over the world, if they wish, and to apply the technique to develop on a spiritual path. If they can come to Vietnam to see me in person or indirectly. From abroad, you can see me in person, or you can see me in person in Vietnam in the future when I come back, or you can see me indirectly. One of the two cases, we will have the opportunity to come back. I just mentioned that next year I come to Vietnam. Many people had already planned to buy all of them. Now I will have 3 aircraft to go back. I just said that this New Year I come back. So many students want to sign up their name. Now we have to get 3 aircraft. I don't know how many aircraft, because in Vietnam they have 1 million people who want to follow me. Perhaps 15 aircraft would go. I'm just joking. Perhaps it may be real. So now on that, because it relates to the Vietnamese who asked my opinion, so I just want to share with you. It is not that I'm praising my country. I do not, but it is a time. So for you, you go to America to teach. From Vietnam, you go to America to teach. So you go to Vietnam. When you go to America, you let me know. When you go there, just bring all the documents so you can teach your family members. Or the family members, if they are close to any local center, the local center can come to help you. I do not know. When you go, when you have a plan to go, and let me know the address of your family members, then I'll find out if there are some of the centers and or instructors nearby, so they can help your children to learn. That's all. Next question.
استاد عزیز، با سلام و تشکر از شما و خانم دکتر ترزا. 3 سوال دارم. اولین سوالم، استاد.
Dear Master, I have 3 questions. Ms. Shahbazi from Tehran, from Iran.
کرده است. چون ما شنیده ایم روح در جسم تجربه می کند. استاد، من مفهوم حرف شما را نمیفهمم. لطفاً بیشتر توضیح دهید. دومین سوالم، در پیام سال 2007 شما اشاره کردید به صدها انرژی دهید تا جلوی زمین لرزه های ناشی از آن گرفته شود. استاد، لطفاً راجع به تغییر و تحولات زمین بیشتر توضیح دهید. و سومین سوالم، منظور از تمدن‌ها چیست؟ چگونه دسته‌بندی شده؟ آیا نسبت به آگاهی انسان‌ها دسته‌بندی شده که شما فرمودید حضرت عیسی از تمدن 5 است و با چه عملکردی به تمدن 6 میرسیم؟ استاد، متشکرم.
This question is from Ms. Shahbazi from Iran. She has several questions. Question number one, dear Master and Dr. Teresa, I would like to say hello to you. Master, would you tell us about, you said that these souls have never been on earth, and would you tell us where our souls have come from, and where did they get the experience? Because you taught us that our soul is experienced, learn the experiences from the body in here. Please help us to understand this teaching. And the next question was that, what is the meaning of the first, second, third, and fourth, and fifth generation, Master? Was Jesus from the fifth civilization, or and what civilization are we? Or is this some sort of a certain part of the consciousness that we have? How can we enter a new soul in a dead person? Is there a new technique? And also, in your message of year 2007, you have mentioned to transfer energy to water dams, the dams that are holding water and creating electricity, to avoid earthquake, which is caused by them. Please guide us how to do the same, and also to let us have more explanation about the changes of the earth. Thank you so much, Master.
Now you listen carefully. When the soul never been on earth, then for sure the soul had already controlled the earth. That's why this soul know what is missing on earth to help. Therefore, in the teaching of Lảo UNG, as the deity had taught me to use the number 13. The number 13 meaning we are beyond the third dimension, beyond earth. We look down into earth to see on earth what is missing. Then we can contribute to help. That is, after 18 years of my teaching, we are able to help the thread of this earth. As you know, the soul needs the body to learn. That is right. The soul of all the living creatures just become the human. When you see the face, you know that they are dumb. I tell you, that is in my family. I do not know about others. When we see the face, we know they are dumb. 40, 50 years, and when you look at the face, you know that they are dumb. Even though they have a family, they know how to use money, but they are dumb. You look at the face, you know that person is dumb. That person is illiterate, but know how to calculate and count money. He doesn't know how to read the alphabet, but this person know how to use money, and he can go around to drink, but do not know how to read and write. Look at the face, and you know that person is illiterate. You know for sure the person is dumb. Especially the person is so dumb, but he knows how to use money. If without, if he doesn't have money and he knows how to borrow people to use. People have the more money they use. His more money he use more. Have less money he use less. But have less, don't have money, then they borrow money, knowing that Master Dang over here has the money, so that's why he borrow money. He borrow 1,000. Over there they don't use borrow 1 million, and they have to return 1.2 million in Vietnamese. And in Vietnam they are so poor. In a month they only use 200 or 300 in Vietnamese. In a month I give 500,000 and 1 million, but it's not enough. I spend one week. If he's dumb, but if he's clever, perhaps he will sell my house. I explain for you. That is a lesson I teach you. This I explained to you already. The soul from low to high, then you have a pity for them. It might take 5-10 centuries. They would not be able to become the humans. When the soul merged to the human, it's so difficult. And when the body dies, to return back, it might take a long time. It's not like we think after death, then you're able to merge here and there. It's so difficult, except at the end of the 20th century, in the beginning of the 21st century, there are a number of people who die, and they're fortunate that you have a chance. You are learning the level 3, you have the chakra open 100%. You can pray for this soul so they can evolve. They're able to come into another body immediately. That is how I explain for you each detail, so you know. For the soul from far away who come here, for sure, that soul is highly capable to be able to help. For example, like in the country A, then in the country A, they know their own language, native language, but other languages they would not know. Whether that person in language A, then he may have a high diploma in language A, but over here, there's one person in with language B, but this person here know how to speak the language or the languages. He can come over there and teach but because this person who can speak foreign language fluently, who can teach that person, even though he has a lower degree, but he can teach a high official. That is how I explain for you, so you can understand and you know. Do not think that you are high and you have everything, you know everything. Sometimes you are high, but you need to learn from the low. However, from the soul, as you know, the soul has the ability to create all of the living creatures. All the living creatures, they cannot form the soul. Listen carefully. Listen, like right now, the first, second, third, and fourth human race, the archaeologists, they research, but they only know from 1 to 30%. Like in the journey this morning, a student had asked about the family of Buddha, about the teaching of Buddha. There are so many of them. I said that the Buddha followed the path. There are 3,000 servants, because all of his servant and guardian who protect his body. Do not think that Buddha is on the horse and then he bid farewell to his wife and children and go to the jungle. It's not like that. Only like in Vietnam is a poor country. If you have money, let's say your children, you have some people who guard your children because you are afraid they are kidnapped. You are just a normal citizen and you still have the money to have the bodyguard to take care of your children. Now here is a prince in the country, so and you can think about it and you see how it is. I tell you the truth, for you just have a little money. You are not the king, and you eat and you have a luxury lifestyle, and then let you go to the jungle and then just without a shirt. Can you handle it? Not to mention this is a prince. Can you handle it? If in that place there is no place for take a shower, if you are so used to take 3 showers a day and only that alone, you would die. That's how I explain for you, so you can understand. This is a mean that I want to explain for you, so you can evolve. In the case of the soul, as an archaeologist, they talk about these human races because they have the advanced knowledge because they were able to build the pyramids in Egypt. Many people who come there to learn, as I think that the only way they use the chakra 6 to control the large stone of block, tons of blocks to build the pyramids. So that right now the human race, we are still learning about it. We are not properly researched because of the code. We are not able to decipher correctly. Just like the ancient text, how can we read in Vietnam right now? They wrote it in the past. How do we translate? We only translate according to our own understanding. However, there are some special case. Perhaps in my country there are so many cases that these authors who now possess the archaeologists, as they possess the linguistic, so that they know, as they know, they can decipher to see if it is right or not. That is the reason I want to share with you. These are the invisible being who merge into the body, and the body only know the knowledge at this era, not in the past. 5,000 years, how do you know what they write? 3,000 years, you know what kind of text they write. That is the presence of the higher soul who had done so, and now they come back to merge with you. Just like I explained to you right now, right here. And when you ask about the Hebrew text, how do I answer? You talk about the Bible, how do I answer? Buddhism, sometimes I research, but I could not research properly everything. In other religion, I do not research. But how come each time when you ask, I can clearly answer for you? And I also update for you so you can improve further, so you can see. That is the energy, the thought, the energy that you are using. With the condition that you need to learn, you need to apply, you need to practice, then you are able to do it. Now, as you ask about the soul, as you can see, the body of Master Lảo UNG MINH, my physical age either equal or lower than you, but on the spiritual age, in the case of a spiritual age, according to the Orthodox religion in the world, comparing to many religions, I do not know much. But then how come I'm clear about all the religion in the world? You ask, I give you my opinion that is appropriate and also complete and precise according to your knowledge. And with your knowledge, you are able to contribute to help your religion successfully. And that is how to prove to you only Master Đáng. You are my student as well as the instructor. You don't have this ability. But then when the student asks a clever question, when you are stuck, you ask the soul Master Đáng. And I borrow the body of the instructor to teach the student, and the student will be able to follow from lower to the high level, so that this student will see the Master Đáng on television. So now, either way, you are trying to put them to sleep, so that to help them, to help the community. It means that you try to drug them so that they love you, then they will hit you. I do not know, they will give you an elbow in your face. I tell you the truth. As you ask, I give you my explanation, each detail, so that you are able to grasp. If I don't explain clearly, then you are confused. Why does this soul and that soul? How come the soul need to use the body to learn? How come the soul has never been on earth and know about the earth? I give you the example in the journey for you. If you don't pay attention, but each time when you go to the high level, do you have any trials? Each time when you go to the high level, the high soul comes, and if the high soul comes, see that the people around you doing the wrong thing, this high soul do not agree. So for that reason, there's a misunderstanding between you and your family, between you and your friends. But then when you come to high level, as you know everything, it will be normal. And you don't have to worry. That is how I share with you. And I also want to explain for you, in the case of the soul, where it comes from, and what the human race, as I explained to you. Now, are you a sorcerer? Do you learn black magic? Do you learn medicine? My point here, you are not a doctor. Do you learn Eastern medicine? Do you learn acupressure? But how come you can apply and you can help to heal people very fast? Who is doing it? Not for sure, not you. It is your own soul with the ability to help your body, because you do not know anything. And you learn. People learn for 30 years, but you learn only in 3 months, 10 days. The sickness that the people cannot cure, but you are able to cure. Is it you? No. This is your soul and the deities allow you to. So today, through this question, I want to analyze for you clearly, so you can understand the soul, where it comes from, where the soul is, and what is the ability of the soul, how it merges to the body. So you are able to learn as the means, so you are able to evolve. I explained to you already. We have our brain. We have 3 parts: the primary brain and the secondary brains. This secondary brain had drawn our primary brain so that it is disconnected on the left and the side. That's why we can only use 6%. Jesus Christ after 2,000 years, Buddha after 25 centuries, the Master in the past for thousands and hundreds of thousands of years. So they are no strangers. They are also in the fifth human race. So now perhaps 200 to 500,000 years, and this is the fourth human race. They live to 300 to 600 years in lifespan, and the first human race they can live up to 5,000-6,000 years without eating and wearing clothing. Then how can they die? They are in a human, not in human form. They are in the energy form. For us in the human world, 60 years with the food, and then we die in 50-60 years with the calm air, the pure air. We can live for hundreds and thousands of years, because without sickness, then how can we die? Only because of sickness, because of accident of sickness that you die. Without sickness, how can you die? Is it right? That is how I share with you on that point, so you can understand. I do not promise how long you live, but after the level 20, for those who merge with you and protect you, they wish that you are living longer in order to serve mankind. It's not that because you want to hang on to life and afraid of death. To me, I tell you the truth. In the past decades, I do not want to say that I want to live and not to die, but I'm ready at any moment. After my mission is completed, then the deities can take my soul anywhere. I'm glad to leave. Including right now, I'm teaching you, and an hour later, due to the demands, the deity do not accept and take my soul, and my body die. I'm still glad. I tell you the truth. There's nothing for me to feel sad. I have fame and future. I see that for the Buddhism, it says fame and fortune is like temporal and has no benefit. So for the past few days, I have mentioned to you, the deities allow me to profit only 30%. I mentioned only 10%. I tell you the truth. Because I have the money, you give me the money, I give a lot to people. For those who live by faith, I give it to them. Sometimes I promise I don't, but I don't promise and I give. In the past, I promise and I give, but now I don't promise and then I give. But I promise I don't give, because I see that I feel tired. You know why? Everywhere they abuse me so much, that's why I feel tired. So now I don't promise, but I give. But if I promise, I don't. I tell you the truth. My body is still limited. However, if the deities who merge with me, then I do not know anything. I just close my eyes and give. Open my eyes and I don't have any more money. I tell you the truth. So that's why I share with you a few points. The future, fame, it doesn't mean that I do not like, but I have gone through already. Money, fame, and fortune, I have gone through already. I tell you the truth. If you help me, give me the money, then I can do the blessing for you. A number of you from far away who will help me. Sometimes give me one. It may be it may cost twice as much when I give to others. It doesn't mean that you give to me. I thank you, but I want to give that to do a blessing for you. I have abundant source of blessing to give to all the other people. But as you help me, I know more or less. I would resend the blessing to you because I have abundant. Do you see that I do not lead a wasteful life just like others? Sometimes on the aircraft, my student may be on the first class, but I'm only on the coach. They sit in front. I'm sitting on coach, and the student are also glad to go. But I am happy on the aircraft. You sit there, eventually you get there. Up in front, they just give you wine, and you can carry a bottle of wine, and you drink, and then you can fall asleep. Now, as you know, now we need to merge to this location. Like this morning, I hear one of the news, but I feel sad for Southeast Asia. That will include Vietnam, Laos, and Thailand, as China had blocked and blocked the Mekong Delta, so we lost 20% of the water volume. So I feel a pity for Southeast Asia in the future. If unfortunately in China right now there are so many factories a day, perhaps they are using, they are wasting billions of gallons of liter of toxic waste from China into the Mekong Delta. So now we have to use, because this factory are sending many of the toxic waste to the Mekong Delta. It will be dark, just like the Black Sea. The water will be so black. So this is the point I have prepared for Southeast Asia. The Mekong Delta, if it is contaminated, then for sure it will affect the entire Southeast Asia. The one who suffer the most, it is in China. As China, they have lack of water, and the water are all contaminated. Can you see the effect of it? So I advise for you, anywhere they have these hydro plants, with the dam, to avoid the case of the dam breaking, then you just try to merge through there. I prepare everything already, everything that I have prepared for you. There's a reason. It's not that I just send you the message to do this and that. I said prepare now and in the future for all of us, everywhere. So you are in Australia, they are afraid, but I'm not. In America, I tell you not to be afraid. There's two river, Mississippi, a river from the north. At that time when I was in America, I know that water is highly contaminated because there are so many factories from the north flowing down. I do not worry. In Australia, I have one of the river, the Zara River. It flows through many of the provinces. They worry, but I said, do not worry, do not afraid. That you have a dry lake. Do not be afraid that you have drought. If they have the river, that we can still live. If when to have rain, it's so easy. Because I do not pray. When I pray, there is no rain. I tell you the truth. In the past, they have a lack of water. I do not pray. I let for 1 or 2 months without rain, and when I pray, it rains a lot. So I do not pray anymore. I tell you the truth. Because I know ahead, so I don't have anything to be afraid of. So now I'm afraid. You know why? I'm afraid that I'm so stingy not to use the water. So I try to have the water. I just take a bath for half the volume. If I take a bath too much, then Teresa have to carry a lot of water bucket. I do not do all of the heavy work. I do only the light one. Teresa and the children, they do the heavy work. When eating fish, people eat the bone, but I only eat the meat. I am afraid of the bones stuck in the throat. So through my answer, and that help you so you understand as the means. So you try your best to apply. I explain to you clearly. This is not the second time. This is the first time, the only time in the human world. At the time that the archaeologists mentioned that we are the 5th human race, the last human race to receive the essence from the first 4 human race, so that we have reached the wisdom and enlightenment. I only know from the level 20. In the past, I do not know about this concept. Whatever I know, I share with you. If I know, I tell you that I know. If I don't, I tell you that I don't. Only if when I come to level 20, then I know. In the past, I do not know about this. Completely, I never know about this. That all the soul of this being who merged with you, so that to help us to have wisdom and enlightenment. That is a strange thing. So as you know, I do not have the lesson or this is a new program. So there are many students everywhere. 1,000, more than 1,500 of you. How do I know what you're going to ask in order to prepare a document to teach you? You can see on that point, I want in the future, you could be just like me. Only that way you can help yourself and others successfully, and with everything that I wish you would achieve. Just like I want you to be able to travel to space, then after a while you are able to achieve it. About 12 or 13 years later, after I travel outer space, then you can travel outer space after 13 years. And then from the time when you come to learn the level of 16, as you know the technique to practice to travel to space, then slowly your body will have more wisdom. Your body goes through many of the changes of the higher soul that come to your body to help your body with wisdom, so that we have the chance to contribute to help the communities in the world. That is one of the good signs. And now, as you know, this is very strange that I want to share with you. When I learned on a spiritual path, in 1972, the deities had mentioned when an hour ahead, if I'm preparing to die, I will also be tested an hour before my death. That is the means the deity had taught me. But then the deity also taught me one thing that I remembered. When there's a threat on earth, I would know it 2 hours ahead of time. Not more than that. One of the strangest thing that today I want to share with you, that I also share with a number of you, when the tsunami in December 2004 in Southeast Asia, I knew 2 hours ahead of time. There's suddenly a phone call to send a message to me. 2 hours later, there will be a tsunami. I tell the truth, I did not believe. In fact, I do not believe. But then, 2 hours later, there was a tsunami. We cannot do anything. The only thing is to pray. The one who are very fortunate, as you all know, all over the world. That is one of the students in UE who was stuck on a coconut tree for 8 hours. That the helicopter saved her. After I heard the news, I transferred energy as an emergency. In a short time, this student was able to recover. For that reason, in high levels, hopefully for you, you can merge in any situation that happen, so that you are able to reduce at least 50%. In the remaining day during this level 20, we do not know. And the principle to help to revive the people, and for sure, as I think we'll update further. And when we want to merge into the soul of our children and grandchildren, whether they can reincarnate, perhaps in a few days I will teach you, so that during this the time when it happened, for your family, for others, perhaps you can borrow another body and send the soul of your family member to that body, and that family would not know, but you know, so that you can help that person. And help that person, meaning you are helping the soul of your family members. I hope that perhaps tomorrow on the last day, I'll explain on that for you. This I did not prepare the document because they did not allow me to teach, and I will not teach whenever I'm allowed. I teach you, because when I teach you, you receive 8, but I receive 10. That is a special point. And the people who died, we will see how, as you are asking, perhaps you ask so rush, they did not want you to learn, so that they will teach you clearly, so you know everything. Then they will teach you how to revive the dead person. And we are able to use another body to send the soul of our family members, so you know these are the family members, so you can continue to help the soul of our family members in another body in order to serve, to contribute to help the country and the communities. Through these questions, I want to advise for you. If today you know our soul are the high being who come to us, then you try your best to continue first in this human world. The religion, the tradition, the culture, you try to help them until when there are changes, you can change. It's not too late. Now, as you elaborate to help your country, your religion, to develop stronger, that is the purpose of this soul, the higher soul, who want you to contribute. to help not just one country or another, one religion to another, but to help the country, the people, your own religion first. If you love your country, your people, and others, you can help. There's no problem. But from my understanding, you should help your own first. When you have the free time, then you can help others. The most important part is to help yourself, your country, your people, your religion, so that they can develop stronger, your people can develop higher. My mission, as I teach and I guide you, I know everything you can do. I know whatever you can do in the new soul that you are about to meet. In that way you can succeed. It doesn't mean that the strange soul that merged into the soul of Master Lảo Minh ĐÁNG, and then you follow my guidance and everything you have to depend on me. No, you take care of yourself, you take care of your country, your people, your religion. As you know, as these people from the past 200,000 years until now, we just mentioned 200,000 years until now, these are the fifth human race. From the time of the fifth human race, is there anyone who can travel to space? Is there anyone who can reach wisdom and enlightenment except this religious founder who leave us behind the means in order to learn to progress? The three religious founders that we know the most, but there are many others. These religious founders that were just like in the case of Buddha, 25 centuries, Buddha and Jesus Christ, 2,000 years, and Muhammad, 15 centuries. They all leave us the means in order to learn to progress. Because of this religious founder who left behind the way, we are able to find the means to evolve down today as we learn to continue as this religious founder would come. And the point of this being is to help humankind to evolve. As we are the descendants, we are following them. We have the chance to share, to contribute all over the world, to develop on a spiritual path, to help the body with wisdom, to help the soul with enlightenment. That is how I explain to you. So now we'll take an hour break, and later on we can resume.